Let me just set the stage for you where I'm at. I'm in Bristol, Connecticut. So I'll be doing the pre-show. I'll be covering the post-show for the pay-per-view. And instead of going to Abu Dhabi, they brought the crew out to ESPN headquarters. Right here in Bristol, right out my window. You can see campus if by any chance that interests you. Myself, Brendan Fitzgerald, Laura Sanko will be handling the duties. Brett Okamoto, Ian Parker, joining from a distance. Now, I have avoided giving you an official prediction for the main event. And the reason I did that is I didn't have my answer. And I have gone back and forth. I will tell you right now, as a competitor, I will take a clear head over a training camp any day of the week. And contrary to popular belief, history would agree with me. Now, I'll give you one example, just because it's an example that you can use, but I'll just give you Michael Bisping. Luke Rockhold had a full training camp, not to mention Luke was clearly the better fighter. Now, that's not a maybe. They'd already fought. It wasn't overly competitive. Luke had a full training camp, though. He got used to this. He got a plan. He got a strategy. They switched the opponent. He thought it was going to be a lesser opponent, right? It was a psychological deal. Michael Bisping went out there and he fought the way Michael Bisping fights. No doubt about it. Michael Bisping did great. There's also no doubt about it. Luke Rockhold underperformed. That was not the same Luke that Michael saw the first time. He just had his hands down. He just had a confidence. He knew that he was in shape and fit. Should we get to the end of the evening, I should be in better shape than him because I prepared for this. Whenever you hear the word confidence, guys, it's not about I'm more powerful. It's not about I can take a bigger shot. It's not about I've been wrestling longer. Confidence comes from one thing, cardio. That's it. If you ever got a guy in the locker room, before he makes that walk and comes through that curtain, he's going to ask himself one question. Did I prepare? Did I do everything possible to be fit? Do I believe if the end of the night comes, I can follow the golden rule, which is to protect myself at all times? Can I do that? Or is there a chance I'm going to reach exhaustion and not be able to finish the match? That is where the confidence and or the fear comes from and nothing else. And I will tell you, paralysis by analysis, sitting and dwelling and focusing on something. Now, you must understand, Islam is a special athlete and he's a special talent. And I don't suggest for you that some of those basic mistakes are going to happen. In fact, I will concede something to you, which is Islam in their first fight found himself in a fight that was harder than he expected it to be. Nothing makes you unravel faster than that. But he didn't unravel. He found a way. So I give Islam full credit, and I fully also expect that he's going to perform better because now he knows what he is getting into. I just like that Volkanovski didn't have a whole lot of time. I like that he had to get the weight off. I like that he was in shape and that he was training. I like that he was staying active and planning to pull down to 45 and go take on Ilia Topuria. I like a lot of these things. In the first fight, it was believed that the grappling of Islam was going to be too strong. However, when they're not grappling and they're standing up, that's going to be Volk's world, right? And that's an exact quote that I read. It's going to be Volk's world. And it wasn't when they fought. I think that Volk, you could argue, got the better of him on the feet, but it would be an argument. It was very competitive. The reason for that, nothing will impale your striking abilities more than the threat of a takedown. If you have a fear that you are going to be taken down, it will stop you from doing what you need to do to not only set up, but to execute your hands, your kicks, your knees, and your elbows. Volk in that first fight did not fight to the best of his ability in the stand-up realm because he had a constant threat of the takedown. Volk now knows, one, he can deal with the takedown in large part. He can just stop it from happening. His defense is much better than he knew it was going to be. And two, he knows how to protect himself on the ground. Now, I'm leaning towards Volk in this fight, but there's a couple of keys to victory. Okay. Volk must, in front of everything, keep his back off the fence. Rule number 2 is keep your back off of the canvas. right? You got to imagine that canvas is lava. It's red hot. If your back hits it, you're going to burn up. I mean, you got to imagine this in your mind and get up. But that's number two. Number one is keep your back off the fence. Them boys from Dagestan, they got huge takedowns. And they got you go read the stats and the records on Khabib and company and how many takedowns they get. It's off the chart. But if you do a little bit further research, you find out they don't get those takedowns, and over 90% of the takedowns are once they push their opponent against the fence. Once his back's against the cage, they're doing it with body locks. They're doing it with trips, going into entanglements. They're not doing it with change elevation, blast a double. Chael Sonnen style, George St. Pierre style. They're not taking you down in the center of that octagon. So step number one, key to victory, Volk, stay off the fence. Key to victory for Islam Makhachev, when you get the fight to the ground, and he will get this to the ground, when you get it to the ground, a mistake that he made the first time is trying to finish with a submission. Looking for that rear naked choke, looking to get on the ground and grapple. This time, he needs to posture and punch. Little lighter on the submission attempts, lot heavier on the ground and pound. This is going to be a great fight. I got to make a prediction. I'm taking Volkanovski.